My CEO husband chose his new love over me and left me behind. Everyone thought my life was over, but they had no idea that the company he was so proud of was actually built on the foundation of my decisions and sacrifices. I never thought the quietest day of my life would become the biggest turning point of my life. The day my CEO husband told me he no longer wanted to stay with me because he believed he deserved to start a new life with the woman he loved. I looked into his eyes and simply said, "Okay." And perhaps he was surprised that I did not scream, accuse him, or lose my dignity in a storm of emotions, because some decisions are not answered with anger, they are answered with time. David and I had been married for almost 20 years. We started our life in a small house where our dreams were big but our resources were limited. I met him when he was just a young man with an idea, an old desk, and an unstoppable desire to succeed. I stood beside him through the years when he stayed awake until 2 a.m. building business plans, while I quietly placed a cup of coffee beside him and reminded him that he was not alone. Today people knew David as a successful CEO, the man who transformed a small company into a major corporation. His interviews appeared in magazines and people admired his decisions and leadership. But very few knew that behind his success was more than just his intelligence. Behind it were the nights when I put my own dreams aside, the moments when I guided him toward better decisions, and the sacrifices I made that nobody ever counted. During the early years, I would sit with him after meetings, listen to his ideas, point out potential problems, and sometimes suggest changing decisions that could hurt the company. He valued my opinion, at least when he still believed we were walking toward the same future. From the outside, our life looked perfect. During Thanksgiving dinners, our family sat around a long table, smiling for pictures while everyone called us the ideal American family. But some smiles exist only for photographs, not for reality. I was the perfect mom at PTA meetings, always involved in my children's activities. Our Sunday trips to Costco became a small family tradition, where we bought groceries for the week and stopped for coffee afterward. We talked about our 401k retirement plans and the future we would build together. I truly believed we would grow old side by side. Then slowly things began to change. David had less time for me, more phone calls interrupted our days, and his business trips became more frequent. The man who once refused to make major decisions without my opinion started treating my presence like an old habit he had outgrown. I noticed the distance growing between us, but I stayed quiet because I knew silence was not always weakness. Sometimes silence gives you the chance to understand the truth. I discovered the reality the day I found an earring on the back seat of his car that did not belong to me. The strange thing was, my heart did not break in that moment. Maybe deep down I already knew something had changed. That earring was not just a piece of jewelry, it was proof of a truth I could no longer ignore. A few weeks later, David told me he wanted to spend his life with his new love. He said he had changed and he deserved happiness. I listened quietly because I understood something important. A person who does not appreciate the value of their past will never truly protect their future. After the divorce, everyone thought my life was over. People felt sorry for me. Some said that starting over after so many years would be impossible for a woman like me. But they did not know that I was never just the wife of a CEO. I was the woman who had invested her time, ideas, and a major part of her life into building that company. I did not create a scene. I did not walk into court with anger or emotional speeches. I simply organized the documents, agreements, and records I had kept over the years. Because for 2 decades I had not just stood beside David. I had played a role in many important legal and strategic decisions that shaped the company. It was never a secret. It was simply a truth everyone had chosen to overlook. When the moment came for the board to examine the company's foundation, everyone finally saw what had been hidden in plain sight. Many of the company's biggest decisions were built on my strategies, my research, and my sacrifices. I did not do anything to destroy David or embarrass him. I simply allowed the truth to stand where it belonged. That was my revenge. Not anger. Not revenge filled with bitterness. Just patience, silence, and the right moment. Later, David tried to talk to me. Maybe he finally realized that the person he left behind was the strongest foundation of everything he had built. But time is something that never returns, and some relationships, once broken, become nothing more than memories. Today I live my life peacefully. I still have responsibilities, new dreams, and a kind of happiness that does not depend on whether someone chooses to stay or leave. When I look back now, I do not remember my pain. I remember my strength. I learned that sometimes people do not abandon you. Sometimes they set you free, giving you the opportunity to discover who you truly are. And now, when I look out my window and see the life I have built, I know only one thing. The foundation the world never noticed was the very foundation that eventually revealed the truth to everyone. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this story. If this journey touched your heart or gave you a new perspective on strength and resilience, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring stories. Your support means a lot to us and we truly appreciate you being here.